Hello. Welcome back to our Rule the Waves 3 playthrough of Italy starting in 1890, Mare Nostrum. Well, the old roster here is looking a little bit better. The first of the Napoli rebuilds is finished up. Our Impero class battleships are finished. We will need to do some refits for Andrea Dorias because I can see now that they are right on the verge of becoming obsolete. But we've also finished up the refits on the Umbria class, giving us not exactly a great force of them, but 7 isn't too shabby, especially when you consider that we have these light cruisers that we'll be putting into service here soon. We're not going to build too many of those to start out with because we do have to, as I said, refit the Andrea Dorias and the Regina Alinas are okay for now because they came out in 27, 28, so they'll be okay. The Dardos, mm, they they are close to being obsolete, but we might just get rid of them entirely. Actually, no, we want to keep the Dardos. The Dardos are actually, well, maybe not. We'll see. Like I said, we can still use them as escorts if we have to. But all right, let's save our game. Let's make a copy of it and go. Hopefully we can avoid war here for another year or two. That'd be kind of nice. Here's an American light carrier, 33 aircraft. Not impressive, but not exactly something you can sneeze at either. They can still put a hurting on you if they catch you with, 15 dive bombers or torpedo bombers, whatever they happen to be running. Okie dokie. Germany has rebuilt the Bismarck. Kind of curious. The US is spending 10% of their naval budget on research, and they're also in a deficit of minus 5,000, 5,300. I want to look at their Bismarck. Just curious, seeing what they got over here. They have a lot of battleships. So fairly new, 1931. That's actually brand new. That's a rebuild. Never mind. But it's still very respectable. 27 knots with 10, 14-inch guns. Pretty good battleship. Can certainly put a hurting on you if they land some shots. Let's let this Marsala, actually, before we let the Marsala finish, we can try to rebuild a couple of the Andrea Dorias. So these are our good battleships with the 16-inch guns. So first thing we want to do is replace the machinery. That gains us a little bit of weight remaining. I'm tempted to try to take it up to 27 knots, but let's see what we can get first. We can get a better director. We don't have any torpedo tubes we have to get rid of. It has 12 5-inch guns and casemates. Now I wonder, so we're looking at 124,000 to rebuild. That's just the engine, pretty much. But I'm wondering if I can put these into double mounts. Puts all of them on the same side, so let's go back up to 12. There we go. The price, 124,000, but the monthly cost is like doubled. I don't get it. Hang on, let's try that again. Open design for rebuild. So it's at 100 and so replace the machinery. 124,000, 1,700 per month. That's that's what does it. 1,700 per month. So we put these in double mounts. Okay. The director there. I guess that explains it, doesn't it? Hmm. Okay. Well, I don't know why it's 2,000 per month. Wouldn't it be to get up to 124,000 for 12 months? That would cost 10,000. Oh, it's the rebuild cost, not the total cost. I'm sorry. There we go. I'm looking at the wrong. Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong dang thing. Okay. Let's also work on the anti-air. Put a couple directors. Can we go up to 28 knots? Whoops. We can. We go up to 29 knots if we really wanted to, but 28 should be fine. So we get reduced rate of fire on the secondaries, which is okay, I guess. We can also upgrade the guns to quality 1, which is fantastic, actually. And then we throw on some more medium AA. We can make the secondaries dual purpose. Gives us 31 heavy AA. Now the question is, do we try to squeeze in an extra knot, which I really don't want to do. I want to keep it around 28 or so because I don't want it to outrun the rest of the fleet too much. We can do that, and then maybe we can add on some more secondaries with ammunition. Because it's 16 secondaries at 5-inch. We can do 18 4-inch secondaries, dual purpose. These are just single mounts. And then maybe we reduce the tertiaries a little bit. So it gives us 20 5-inch secondaries. It's an expensive rebuild, really expensive, but it only takes a year. It's so expensive because it takes a year. Yeah, we can do that. We'll do 2 of those. And it puts us into a deficit. That's going to go away once these Napolis are finished. So just a few months, not too much longer. Having plus one 16-inch, not plus one, but like level 1 16-inch guns or like quality 1 16-inch guns are really good. Let's not leak our sensitive technology. That, and I think we're pretty close to the max we can get on our budget before we start getting more unrest. We might actually be getting unrest already. Here's a privately built torpedo bomber. It's only a year newer than our old one. It's faster. It has less range. The toughness goes up by 2. Maneuverability goes down by 1. We have good maneuver. We have good reliability. I don't think gaining 6 knots worth of speed is worth losing 25 miles worth of range. So we're going to say no to that. And we want to keep our good reliability. We finally have something with good reliability. And also, one thing we can do here is look at our uh, fortifications. And we want to increase our base size. There we go. That's going to give us a little bit more opportunity to start deploying medium bombers in our bases, our air bases. Hopefully, we'll see a little bit better, just better like air performance from our bases in general. So the world economy has recovered after the crisis. We're at 540,000. We get to pick an enemy, but we're going to get we'll get budget, but we also get tension. So let's pick someone who's kind of harmless for now, which is Austria. I don't really want to go against Germany because Germany has the bombastic leader, so they might provoke, and then we might also provoke because of our leader. All right, let's see if we can't build a few of these Marsalas. So they're only 1,300 to build each, so we can build three of those, I think. Three of those at a time. It won't take long. It's a 2-year build, so it's actually pretty decent. I thought it was gonna be less than that, but them's the breaks. Okay, the Leonardo da Vinci has finished its reconstruction. The Leonardo was a nice little MVP when it came to rating last time around. Here's the reconstructed battle cruiser Prince Adalbert. Pretty nasty ship, 16-inch guns, 29 knots. Here's a better version of the torpedo bomber. So we gain some speed, which is pretty decent. Gain a little bit of range, and that's it. But we keep our good reliability, which is very nice. Okay, we're back into positive balance. So we have 9 months left on the Andrea Doria rebuilds. We're going to be getting a little bit of an infusion of money here in just a minute from these Pelicanos being finished and the Ardent rebuilds. So I think we'll rebuild one of the Andrea Dorias for now. They'll come back a little bit staggered. We can get more budget, or we can get tension. I think our budget is, yeah, the unrest is coming up. So let's just do average ships. We'll go for right down the middle. Nothing good, nothing bad. We get centerline torpedo tubes allowed on ships up to 3,500 tons. Doesn't do us any good. Not yet. We need about, I don't know, how big are these cruisers that we're building? 8,000? We need about 8,000 tons allowed on centerline torpedoes. And all right, let's rebuild the other Andrea Doria here while we can. And once those are rebuilt, we'll be sitting quite pretty here for a while. We'll have a nice battleship fleet for once. Austria and Hungary and US have renewed their security agreement. They are good friends. Here's the new fighter prototypes. I asked for, I think, firepower and speed, maybe. Maybe speed. These are pretty fast. So, so we get better speed, better range. The stat scope. Look at that. Look at this one here. We lose. Well, actually, we gain 1 point of toughness. We gain 2 points of maneuverability, and we gain firepower in exchange for we gain 40 knots of speed and about 35 nautical miles of range. So that's good. Those are pretty good fighters. So we'll take those. Here's an improved dive bomber. We get what exactly? A slightly bigger bomb, 600 pounds. I mean, okay. It's the only thing that changed. Dive bombers are brand new. Well, not brand new, but they are pretty darn new. Tensions go down across the board. Stay up with the Brits, which is good. It'll keep our budget decent for a while. So we have all the Palkenas finished, which means we have 34 of them. I think that's enough. Actually, you know what? Let's build, just in case, two more. Just in case. And our unrest is going up. We must be over the budget limit. We'll go for tension and maybe a little bit for siege. Allow triple turrets in all positions, regardless of speed and TPS. Okay. We didn't get any prestige. Don't know if we got any. I think we got tension with Germany. We were green, I think. And then the Ardents, that's the last Ardent class that's going to be rebuilt. Let's see here. The Dardos are right on the edge of being obsolete. In fact, we're getting rid of them. They're not. I don't want to have to rebuild them. They're from 1914. Yeah, the Dardos are going to go. We have 15 of them. That should save us like 300 per month or so. We're at 693. I don't know how much we saved. We saved a decent, pretty good amount there. It all adds up. In fact, once we finish the Andrea Dorias, we can probably look into a new destroyer class as well. The destroyers have advanced quite a lot since the last ones we built in the 20s or whatever it was. So there's a lot going on. We had tension reductions all around. Hopefully, we don't dip below yellow with Britain. No, we're right on the edge. That's perfect. 7. We have too few destroyers. That's true. That is true. We have too few destroyers. I agree. Nice. We get deck edge lifts. Here's an improved naval bomber, or naval patrol craft, sorry. It gains quite a bit of range, and that's still poor reliability, unfortunately. That's a trait I would have liked to have gotten rid of, if possible. And we are 4 months away from the Andrea Dorias being finished. So let's go one more month. Nice. Improved submarine effectiveness. Tensions reduced. That's not good. That's okay. That's not good. But it actually wouldn't hurt us too bad to have budget go down a little bit. So now is the time to look into a new destroyer class. Once we start building the new destroyers, these old ones will go into the upper fleets, like divisions like 30, 29, 28, etc. And we're going to actually call the new one. So let's design new destroyers. 37 knots, so it's 3 knots faster. They're 2,100 tons. So let's immediately go to normal speed, see what that does. 22. How big can we go? 4 torpedo launchers is probably too much. Or like three launchers with 4 tubes each, probably too much. We don't want mines on these things. We have mines on the corvettes. We do want the depth charge launchers. What if we reduce the speed down to 36? That helps out a lot, actually. We go up to 2,300 tons. It's still overweight. So how can we fix this? We can go down one tube on each. That gives us 9 torpedoes plus the reloads. And it gives us 4-inch guns. Can we do double turrets? So let's do forward and forward superimposed. Can we do double turrets? Is that allowed? It is allowed. And that's really about all you need as far as maybe we can go to 5-inch guns. Not really. We can reduce the ammunition a bit. Maybe we can reduce the AA. I don't know. What if we go back down to 4-inch guns? That lets us. That lets them be. Well, they can be dual purpose either way. So maybe we'll stick with the fives. And how can we get those 13 tons? Maybe we go to 2,400. Is that allowed? We're still a little bit overweight. Hmm. They're only 10,000 apiece. 25? That does it. That's about as big as we can make them, probably. I mean, if we went to 26, probably not even allowed. Yeah, we can't even do that. So this is the max size we can build. We're working on the next generation. I saw that in one of the pop-ups. This is fine. This gives us a little bit of room for improvements in the future. 170 rounds per gun. Uh, the guns aren't really all that important, but having these dual purpose 5-inch guns gives us 7 heavy AA factor. So it gives them a little bit of power when they're escorting the bigger ships around. A little bit of AA protection. And the torpedoes. The torpedoes are the important part here. Yeah, I like this. This isn't bad. They're a little bit they're actually pretty pricey, but we can start building these. We can build quite a few of these over time as we finish the rest of the stuff we're working on. And this is going to be Euro, the Euro class. We had a Hero Euro before, and this will be a namesake. Save the game. All right, there. Now we get reduced spending. Uh, we'll make the agent a national hero. We need some tension. Japan and Great Britain aren't very good friends. So here's an improved torpedo bomber for us. We get about 15 knots worth of extra speed. We get a little bit more range, about 15 miles worth of range. The reliability is good. The stats don't really change, but we get better speed, better range. We'll take it. Yes, please. Here's the improved dive bomber. This is the C version. B than C. We get about 50 more miles worth of range, and we get 1 more point of firepower, which isn't really important for a dive bomber, but we keep the average reliability, which is nice. Float plane scouts. Don't remind me again about that. Float plane scouts are not what we're doing here. The Euro is ready. So let's build one set. We'll do a set is 4 of them. Then we'll just wait for these rebuilds to finish up, and then we can start pumping out more of those Euros. Oh, we still improved 20 millimeter automatic cannon. So better AA. I don't care. Get mad at us if you want, bro. All right. Be mad. We want yellow tension with somebody. So improved 20 mil automatic, improved light AA effectiveness. It's not too shabby. All right, we're 25 minutes in, so we're gonna go ahead and call it here. I appreciate y'all so much for being here, and I'll just go ahead and record a new episode because it's currently I guess it's early morning on the 23rd here, which is a Friday. And on Saturday, the 24th, we're supposed to start getting a pretty nasty snow and ice storm. So I very well could lose power for a few days. I don't know. I hope not. Sure hope not. But I do want to have these episodes, in the hopper, ready to go for you guys to watch. So wish me luck, and I'll see you next time.